He stops, stares for a long time, then puts his hands back in his pockets and keeps walking. His friend asks him later, "Where did you go last weekend?" He says, "Went to the beach." Friend says, "Didn't see you post anything." He thinks for a second, then answers, "Yeah, just went to look." The friend is slightly confused. Just went to look. Such a beautiful sunset. If you don't photograph it, don't post it. What exactly was the point of going? But he doesn't explain, because the explanation itself would already be a betrayal. That evening belonged to him alone. The moment he explains it, it begins to belong to someone else's understanding. Everyone asks the wrong question. Why don't they post? Wrong. The correct question, why does everyone else feel compelled to? Reverse the frame. Suddenly, the silence isn't the anomaly. The nose is. We built an entire civilization around the performance of living. Posting a sunset isn't sharing joy. It's filing a report. I was here. I felt something. Please confirm it was real. The person who doesn't post skips the confirmation step. Not because they feel nothing, because they trust what they feel without a jury. This is rarer than it sounds. Most people cannot do it. Nietzsche wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." He was not being arrogant. He was describing physics. People with rich interior lives have less need for exterior validation. Their inner world is loud enough, crowded enough, interesting enough. They are not cold. They are not antisocial. They are already occupied. Think of it this way. A person with an empty room shouts into it to hear the echo. A person with a full room doesn't notice the silence. The ones who don't post, their rooms are full. What fills them? That varies. But the common thread, they have learned to be the audience for their own life. This is the psychological core. Everything else flows from it. Here is something almost no one will admit. Pain posted is pain performed. That's not an accusation. It's anatomy. When suffering becomes content, it transforms. It requires editing, framing, audience management. You begin to shape the grief for consumption, and in doing so, you consume it before you've fully felt it. The person who doesn't post their heartbreak grieves in full, ugly, unwitnessed, complete. There is a Buddhist concept, dukkha, suffering, but the tradition also identifies a secondary suffering, the suffering about the suffering, the resistance to it, the need to explain it, justify it, display it. Silent people often skip the second layer. They are not stronger. They are not colder. They have simply stopped needing their pain to be legible to others. This is a form of psychological maturity so rare it looks like damage to those who don't have it. Here is the cruel irony of the social media age. The more you share publicly, the less you share privately. Watch couples who document everything. Every trip. Every anniversary post. Every "I love this human" caption. Then watch what happens when the relationship ends. Silence. Erasure. Or worse, a vague post about growth. Public love is often rationed love. Performed love. Love that requires witnesses to feel real. The person who never posted about their relationship, their love lives somewhere else entirely. In the texture of an ordinary Tuesday. In the inside joke no algorithm ever saw. When they lose that love, they grieve something that was genuinely private. Paradox, the less visible the relationship, often the more real it was. This applies to friendships, to ambitions, to belief systems. The things we don't post are often the things we actually mean. Let's be precise. This is not a romanticization of all silence. Some people don't post because they are ashamed, some because they are depressed, some because they have nothing. We are not talking about those people. We are talking about a specific type, the one who has chosen silence with full awareness of the alternative. What does that choice signal? First, self-sufficiency. They have built an interior supply chain. They do not import approval. Second, selectivity. They share, but in person, in depth, with few. Their intimacy is not broadcasted. It is given. Third, a longer time horizon. The documented life optimizes for the moment of posting. The undocumented life optimizes for something else. Harder to name. Closer to living forward rather than archiving backward. They are not building a highlight reel. They are building something they can't yet show you, because it isn't finished. Do not mistake this for a celebration with no shadows. The silent ones pay a price. In the modern world, visibility, currency. The unseen are often the unpromoted, the uncelebrated, the assumed to be struggling because they haven't announced otherwise. You seem fine, people say, because no post signaled distress. They were not fine. They were just private about it. There is also loneliness in this path. Real loneliness. The deep thinker eats alone more often than the performer. Not always, but often enough, and sometimes, rarely, but truly, the silence is not strength. It is fear dressed as philosophy. The person who tells themselves they don't need validation while quietly drowning in its absence. Know the difference. In yourself, especially, silence as power looks like peace. Silence as wound looks like armor. There is a meal happening, not being photographed, not being described, not being shared, just eaten. The taste exists only in one body. The moment belongs to no feet, no algorithm, no stranger's thumb scroll. In 10 years, there will be no record of this meal, except in the person who ate it. And maybe, just maybe, that is exactly enough. The unposted life is not an unlived life. Sometimes it is the most lived one, because every moment that wasn't performed was experienced instead.